Hmm. They're taking their time with this ban, that's for sure.
That they are. Wonder what they're really thinking about here. All the popular picks, like as far as I can tell, have been pretty much removed. They get rid of the Oracle, okay, and TNC now goes straight into the Batrider.
So the first Batrider that they've played in this entire patch is going to be coming out in this draft.
Apparently, and
I mean, this is the time to do it, right? In the knockout stages of a big tournament.
yeah, I mean, it's still a great hero. It's just how TNC are going to run it and whether they're going to be able to run it in a very effective kind of fashion. You would assume it's going to be a pos 3, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Right.
Tim's has played it before, so I think the Penguin and the Batrider aren't necessarily guaranteed. Again, it forces them to go into some form of basic dispel. They've gotten rid of the Oracle. They've already picked up the Nature's Prophet and the Clockwork, so what really is left as a position 5? Not much.
Right. That is true. T1, they may have wanted that Batrider potentially if they were going to throw the Prophet in the mid or the safe lane. So they'll have a think about this. They don't really have the counters towards the Bat yet, but now they'll go for the Keeper of the Light. How do you feel about that? Is that a good pick here up against what TNC have?
I guess they're just trying to, rather than just be reactionary to everything that TNC is trying to do, they want to play their own game. They want to be on the front foot, and they want to minimize their opportunity for mistakes, I suppose. I mean, the great thing about the Batrider, of course, it denies it away from T1. But again, similar to what Pango can do, you can just get out of those cogs. You can get out of the Sprout every single time. And you've got, I guess, Keeper's one of those few things that can lock him down somewhat. But I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned for T1. It really depends on what core they choose to pair with this.
Well, now the PA comes out, so that coddle's going to be free food for the PA, that's for sure. Especially once you hit that mid game.
I think it's probably a PL that's going to be coming out here for T1.
Okay. The peel into the Batrider, though, can be a bit...
It's annoying, but you can always just doppelganger to get rid of the sticky napalm.
Okay. No? Ursa is the pick.
Yeah, I mean, Enrage does the same sort of thing, I suppose, but laning stage can be a little rough. Maybe just wanting to get the pressure on before it gets to that stage where the Batrider is going to be causing you too much grief.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, the Ursa has been very, very popular as well. Still a very, very strong POS 1 in the current meta. It's going to be a little bit difficult hitting the PA up until maybe you get something like an MKB or something else to just break this Phantom Assassin, but we'll worry about that later.
Maybe, just to make sure you can lock them down first.
You might actually find that the Ursa just tries to rush the Basher into the Abyssal rather than going for the Battle Fury this time around. I guess that's one way to just deal with the PA, more so than just going Battle Fury and trying to escalate after that.
I think particularly in this game, you do need to prioritize movement a lot more than you used to on Ursa. Yeah, you've got your Earth Shock that does enable that, but you need the secondary capabilities for that, right? Because you can't just be popping your Enrage on, some sticky napalm stacks or, so some damage over time from Phoenix. You need to use it so that you can man fight against this PA. You need to use it to dodge out a lot of the damage that's eventually going to be coming through onto your face. And yeah, I just think you're not going to build into a blink dagger anymore. That's just not how Ursa is done these days. What I'm interested in seeing as well is how Forever's going to balance his greedy playstyle in terms of farming with what I think is going to be necessary for him, which is making a lot of plays to lock down this Phoenix. Because we've seen throughout the group stage, if you don't go something like a 4-staff or a Glimmer Cape, you're food for a Nature's Prophet that can just TP on top of you as a support and kill you every single time.
That's very, very true. T1, finish it off. Pretty strong with the Storm Spirit. You do already have that Batrider there with the Lasso to catch out the Storm in all fairness. But I suppose apart from that, there's not much else to lock down this Storm Spirit during a big team fight or even just outside of the team fight. And so TNC, having one pick left, are still arguably looking for that Armel hero in the mid lane. And I'd say they probably would need something to make sure this Storm just doesn't have a completely free game.
Hmm. What could they go for here? This isn't a Meepo game, is it? No.
I guess you could go down something like the Ember route, right? Like
Nah, Ember's
it's...
just banned. They just banned it
Oh,
themselves.
right, okay, well then the Puck, I suppose.
Yeah, Puck's fine.
Okay.
Just locking Ursa into position as well as the Storm Spirit. Yeah, it's okay. Again, another form of independent escape from the Nature's Prophet and the Clockwork, and even the Keeper of the Light. Right, you can just get out of a lot of these abilities that need you to be positioned in one small area on your own. You don't need to rely on four staffs coming through because, well, Tim's probably isn't going to build one. March probably isn't going to build one, at least until 30 plus minutes into the game. So they've all got that movement capability. Let's just see if they're able to kite out this Miracle Ursa.
It should be an interesting game, of course. TNC, one game away from being able to finish off this series and move on to the next round of the lower bracket. T1 going to be trying to force this to a game number 3 if they can, and they certainly can. Depends on how this game number 2 goes. And should be an interesting one between these two. Of course, I should just mention quickly as well, our next series, in case people aren't aware, is going to be Team Adroit versus Reality Rift straight after this one's over. So that should be another interesting match between those two, and still plenty of Dota to look forward to later on tonight.
It should be. The winner of that next series, I believe, goes on to face Fnatic, who dropped down to the lower bracket earlier today after facing up against GeekFam. I'm sure GeekFam are going to be very happy with that one. And the winner of this series goes on to face tomorrow the loser of Neon versus Boom, which is also taking place tomorrow. So one of those two teams in the upper bracket is going to be playing 2 games in one day. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it.
It's going to be a hard day for either of these sides. Like, whoever makes it through to the lower bracket, they've got such hard matchups waiting for them. No matter who wins between Neon and Boom, they're both very difficult teams to go up against. And of course, Fnatic, up until that previous series we watched, did look unstoppable. So it's going to be a hard day tomorrow for these guys, but we'll see how this game works out first. Senior Dream is going to be there in the mid lane on the Storm up against Armel on the Puck. Fairly standard stuff there. You'll see Miracle down at the bot lane on the Ursa. It seems as though they are going to maybe start with a bit of a tri lane here on TNC, but I'm sure they will send one of the supports back up to support Gabby on that PA. I doubt they'll leave him alone.
No, absolutely not.
T1's doing a similar thing. They've brought JoeCam up for now. He's going to go ahead and take a very early outpost for the side of T1.
Well, Miracle's getting pincered a little bit here, but he's got the movement speed to be able to just walk away. They're harassing him up a little bit here with this Orb of Venom.
It's going to be a bit of slow Miracle. He will eventually get out, but some nice damage being dealt there from Tims. In fact, he will stick around for more.
Yeah. It's exactly what he needs to do, right? Like, you just need to pressure him down into this bottom side. You can't really make too much happen against with this creep wave. He's just going to want to stand next to this tier 3 tower, oh sorry, tier 2 tower for a little bit, get a bit of that passive regen up onto himself.
Tims will eventually just swashbuckle away once he sees JoeCam coming in. Just won't want to take any harass back himself. The Batrider versus the Batrider Pango lane up against the Ursa does seem like a bit of a difficult one for Miracle. The sticky napalm and the constant disarm from the lucky shot can be kind of hard to play against as an Ursa. See how Miracle deals with it before that level 6 mark. Like, he's got the coddle there to protect. We already see JoeCam just illuminating straight through the creep wave.
Yeah, I think that's just wanting to make sure that you can secure at least that range creep in the first wave, and you never want to let a Batrider start to exceed your experience early on into the piece. JoeCam, perhaps a tiny little misplay there, not getting the block off on the large camp, and opens up the possibility for it to be pulled through with this lane eventually going to be pushing forward by KP, just going to be dropping that Firefly most likely.
Absolutely, and you're going to need that creep wave as close to the T1 as possible, because you see KP, he's already got 6 stacks up on Miracle. No way for him to break the gap now, and KP's still trying to go for that 7th, but does miss out. And so they will reset now. Cancellation on the Clarity. He has another one ready to go just in case. We'll have a check up on this lane a bit later on, because top lane, Gabby and March are going to be up against Paulson and Forev. March should be able to keep Gabby relatively safe. I don't really see them being able to secure a kill onto this PA till maybe later on. Even with that battery assault, like, you should just be able to blink out in time every time Paulson does go for it.
Yep. Well, he's hit up onto his level 2 now. Forev's trying to harass him as much as he can. He's doing an alright job. Got a few denies off already.
It's that early Blightstone. Really does amplify that damage quite a bit from Forev. Of course, the mid lane. The one lane we haven't looked into yet. In Your Dream and Armel going to be up against each other. Both of them just trading farm fairly evenly. Of course, it's going to be about those power runes and that level 6 timing for both these guys. Maybe Armel could have a chance of killing off In Your Dream before that, but there will be a Vortex from In Your Dream. Bit of harass out onto the puck. Both will salve up at the exact same time.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Top lane, Forev. Almost dies, just TP straight back to that fountain.
He's going to be able to get out. Paulson obviously putting a lot of prioritization on body blocking up this camp, wanting to get the better end of these trades. I wonder if he's going to try and grab one of these waves and pull it through under the safety of this tower. Doesn't look like it. Just trying to keep the pressure up in their face.
Just cogs back on Gabby.
I think it hit the range creep instead.
Oh. Gabby's still just going to be doing just fine in the safe lane. They haven't really been able to harass him out quite yet. Have March there still protecting him up. Mid lane, In Your Dream, another Vortex onto Armel, but he has jaunted the other way with that orb. And well, now we'll try to trade harass with In Your Dream, but he doesn't seem afraid to just harass him back. He does currently have the higher base damage on that Storm, and again, I think it really is going to be about that first power rune here. So Armel can't really afford to give it away to In Your Dream.
You can see the rotation starting to happen. Jokem doesn't have any points in the blinding light just yet, so Tim's is going to be able to just stand and fight.
Armel going to gamble on the bot. No, it's going to be up top, and that's going to be a double damage from In Your Dream. That's going to be a nice feeling.
Going out.
It's just so hard, right? Like with this Puck versus Storm matchup, the first person to get that first power rune, and of all things, a double damage as well. It seems to just guarantee the mid lane almost.
Well, they're trying to make a play here onto March by standing right on top of him as well with Paulson. He needs to get the timing perfect if he wants to maybe get off this Icarus dive.
Battery assault, it should be enough. He's going to Fairy Fire. No, now with the battery assault gone, he'll turn around with some Fire Spirits, trying to get enough damage out. I think he will. Icarus dive should be enough now. Paulson won't go to try and deny himself off on the neutral creeps. He will just go down, and March will pick up the first blood on the Phoenix.
Incredibly handy to get that solo experience as well on a Phoenix, a position 5 Phoenix, and well, with this timing as well, he's going to respawn after the bounty runes are up. So free 1 for March, and he's just going to make that rotation through.
He's going to have to fight within your dream.
He should know.
He won't bother.
Level 6 just yet.
Paulson is back here anyway, and he's gone straight back to that battery assault onto March. This is going to bring the TP in now from Forev, just to ensure they get the kill. Forev does take the gold for himself, and now that you've got that Phoenix out of there, maybe you could possibly try and make a play onto this PA, as Gabby is already very low. They'll sprout him out, forcing out the blink, but Paulson couldn't really get a nice cogs off on Gabby. But they stop him from farming at least.
Yeah, they were going for that instant play, the instant cogs afterwards with the blink strike, but just able to get to the range creep and escape in time. Nicely done.
I'm going to say, Gabby has been farming really well, though, considering the circumstances. 32 and 4. Bot lane, there is going to be a bit of a dive now. Miracle getting dived here by KP. More sticky napalms flying out. He's still level 4 on that Ursa. Now, Dream Coil will be there, but he's going to turn around onto KP. He will just kite him out. Mel should have plenty of damage here. Miracle still jumping out, and now in your dream, he is going to come in after KP. He'll get the Bat Rider. Tim's now going to be a sitting duck, and he should just die. And, well, he tries to fight back with the Swashbuckle, but no. In your dream does have enough damage, and that'll be a double kill for this Storm Spirit.
Yeah, not even need to make the rotation through from Forev. He's been able to heal up in the base, go back to this top side, and I mean, Gabby's making a decent go at this, but that's the sort of rotation you need early on, not only for the kills, of course, but also the levels going a bit more in favor of Miracle, and KP not having the best go of things to start out this game, number 2.
Definitely not. You did mention it. It is his first Bat Rider game in a long time.
He's getting chased again.
That he is. Forev's getting chased as well, though, up at that top lane. Forev looks like he's going to be okay. KP can't say the same for him. Miracle does get the kill. And, well, Forev, I guess if you killed off the Prophet, it would have been worthwhile, but they don't quite get him.
Yeah, not that time around, and you know, it's okay in those sorts of situations to play like Miracle did. He used the Enrage to get rid of the, I think it was up to like 5 or 6 sticky napalm stacks, and dispel them, only ending up having 1 towards the end there. But in a team fight, especially as it reaches this 10 to 15 minute stage, you're not going to have that luxury. There's more than one thing that needs to be dispelled right now.
Tier 1 items going to be spawning up now as well. Armel, he may run into Joe Cam, but Joe Cam, he just plays some very deep wards down. Spot him out, so Armel will know the wards are around there somewhere. Miracle going to rotate up as the Ursa. Looks like he's going to even try to secure this 8-minute power rune. And I mean, I guess they can, right? He's going to get it.
Yeah.
Up at top lane. In your dream will bottle that illusion rune up.
Nicely done to be able to just get rid of that sentry ward, not wanting this deep observer to be removed. You want to make sure that any sort of rotation that might be coming through, although not the strongest rotators right now on TNC, it has to be said.
That is true. I think it's down to the fact that these runes are being controlled up, so Armel can't really do anything. He just seems kind of stuck in that mid lane farming. And even though he is farming, he's still behind in your dream on that storm. Well, Jokam fighting for the D ward there up against KP and Tims. Both of them eventually just D-warding each other.
KP's got his level 6. I don't know if he wants to go the point in the Flaming Lasso just yet. I feel like he's too far behind to try and make that sort of play, and he just needs to focus on his farm right now.
Yeah, he might just hold out on the skill point. He will. Well, T1's invaded the Dire jungle as well up at that top lane, but Gabby wants something to say about that. They're going to blink onto Forev. Dream Coil is there from Armel. He's trying to TP out of there, though no. Silencers are in. He'll be just fine, though, in your dream. Coming to clean up. Does get one. Now after Gabby, we'll get that one as well. It's a double kill, and now Tim's might be the triple. In fact, it will be. The Storm just having the game of his life thus far. 5-0. And Armel, the only thing he could do is just run away.
Yeah, the power of those power runes, right? It just enables you to snowball a lane lead into these early team fights. And, I mean, having a Keeper of the Light throw a few Chakra Magics on you can't hurt.
No, definitely not.
I'm liking his positioning here as well. He's farming around this top outpost, making sure that it's not going to be reclaimed, although nicely done here by the Phoenix. Flies through. He's going for the interrupt with the Electric Vortex, but won't be enough.
Doesn't have the mana for it. He zipped way too far, but now Polison comes in with the hook shot and will at least secure a kill for the team. And they'll take the outpost back eventually. They'll get the control back that way.
March did his job though. You know, he got the experience that was needed for his team. It's honestly even good for him. He's going to approach closer to that level 6. I didn't see if they brought up the tome just yet, but it's going to be important to get those ultimates up on March as well as Tim's ASAP.
Well, at least with Tim's, he is at that level 5 mark, so he just needs an extra level now. Looks like he buys the tome out for himself. And so now you'll have the Rolling Thunder up, and they've desperately needed it for a while now as Tim's. See where he gets to use it first. Perhaps Miracle, try and slow that Ursa down, who has been freely farming the jungle for a bit. Is still trying to work into the Battle Fury, but he'll get there soon enough.
Yeah, he can
Oh,
tell something's up here on Miracle at the bottom side. He runs back to the safety of his tower.
Is under attack.
Mel's got that Dream Coil. He'll show himself.
4 TNC heroes down here on the bottom side, and Miracle, he's going to be found out.
Well, that's not good news for Miracle. Lasso not being committed yet. Hookshot gonna miss just straight on the Ursa. Now the Lasso is there just holding him in. Will-O-Wisp is kind of saving them for now. And In Your Dream jumps in. Dream Coil is there on the Storm. They're trying to just kite around In Your Dream. He's getting actually fairly low on that Storm. But now the Vortex is there on Tims. They do get the first kill of this fight. Armel being trapped up by the Sprout. He's just gonna walk his way out. And it looked so good to start for TNC with that little fight we saw, but they don't get the Ursa kill, and well, then In Your Dream just comes along and just kind of cancels everything out.
Yeah, you could tell he was sweating a little bit there on the Ursa, wanting
Gabby?
to pop the enrage. Oh,
Gabby, can he get lucky? No, he's blue. No, Paulison was there. Just puts the cogs up, will walk away.
another power rune going the way of In Your Dream. This time on the top side of the map. Yeah, you could see that Ursa was wanting to pop that Enrage as the Batrider was diving on top of him, because obviously you want to be able to reduce that duration of the Flaming Lasso, but just not wanting to do it too early, which meant that he took the full duration of it and was on about 10% before, after the duration.
It's a shame. And you'll see, of course, Paulison, he gets another kill onto March, just with the hookshot battery assault once again on that Phoenix. Does now scan out Tims as well. They are still trying to work towards that Ursa, and or rather Forev now on the Nature's Prophet. But again, we're going to have In Your Dream zipping in straight onto Armel. Almost kills him off. The Cogs might just push him back. And Forev, he does also die. Armel getting caught out, trying to TP in the tree line, does also die now on the park. But here comes Gabby. Joe Cam does get blown up with that crit. Now Paulison trying to get some form of trade, but he will probably be dead here to Tims. He will Cogs up, but Gabby will take a double. That's the one team fight for TNC that actually has panned out their way. And I suppose now they can actually try and secure that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, absolutely. Even that early mechanism, not quite enough. Oh, he's going in onto Gabby again, but I don't know about this.
It's a dangerous one. He's out of mana as well. Was very close to it. Forev, going to TP in. KP, going to be chased down. In Your Dream, going in with the Chakra Magic now. KP trying to flame break him away, but with that Will-O-Wisp, they will be able to secure the kill. And T1 are refusing to let this T1 die. I mean, they can deny it now if they want, but they can also just leave it standing if they really want.
It's a heavy commitment just to get KP, who hasn't had the greatest start to the game, but oh, poor Ursa, he's been caught out here.
Dream Coil and Rolling Thunder, there's just no way out of this situation. And well, with that Ursa dying, you really won't mind the Batrider going down.
And finally, Armel is able to get one of the power runes, and it's a haste one, so enabling that rotation even further. Oh,
Paulson. Hey, trying to go for the hook. Phase shift was there in time. And now bot lane, Forev. Being chased down, does pop his mech. Gonna try for the TP, and that'll force out the lasso at least from KB. In Your Dream zipping in. Can he actually save this? He will not. Forev does die, but he does get the trade in Tims, and now maybe even KP should go down, but here comes Gabby going after that Storm. Mana is getting low for In Your Dream, but he's got a double kill and a godlike streak and dumping back in onto that PA. That looks really bad for Gabby. He does die, but they do kill off In Your Dream. It's March and the Phoenix, who will also drop the Phoenix Egg. Joe Cam cannot deal with it in time, and that means he will probably also tick out of these Fire Spirit damage with the Icarus Dive. He does TP, but dies in his own fountain. Now Armel, see if he can get Paulison, but no. Paulison will walk out. And it's just a bloodbath in that bot lane.
Oh, Paulison, you abandoned your poor keeper of the light. There was only one hit needed to be able to deal with that egg, but you could tell at that point they didn't really want a bar of it. Could have gone even better with that haste rune being popped for Armel, but he still had about 15 seconds left on the Dream Coil to connect with a triple. And yeah, able to clean up onto Gabby. The one poor rotation that he's made so far this game, and rightfully he just goes straight back to the jungle. He's like, right, that's it. I'm farming up this Ancient Camp.
Yeah, just wants that Battle Fury up as soon as possible. Miracle is much closer to his own Battle Fury, it seems. Just needs that Claymore up. Or rather, the Broadsword is what I should have said. The PA, yeah, it's not too far. Just needs the Perseverance. It's going to be a bit of a farm war between these two, I suppose.
There we go. Broadsword acquired by Miracle. He hasn't bought it yet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's holding out.
Cheeky play there by March, snaring the Arcane Rune.
TNC just focusing on defending that mid-tier 1 tower now.
KP's running for his life as well in these trees.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
There he is. Has Firefly in 10, has TP available right now. And he'll go, but the mid-tier 1 is going down. Miracle is able to secure it for his team, and now Hookshot is going to be out onto Tims, but they do have Gabby around the corner. The Sunray keeping Tims up, but now a great Will-O-Wisp with Miracle and his new Battle Fury. But it won't matter, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Armel coming in with the Dream Coil and Veil of Discord. Does get the Dream Coil off onto the Ursa. Miracle will break it with the Enrage. Just continues running away, but they should have the damage output, and this Ursa will not survive. In fact, Armel thinking about going for more, but it looks like he is going to be satisfied with just that position 1.
Yeah, and March has been able to snowball really effectively after that solo kill First Blood. That early level 3 means he had so much more presence in lane. Didn't even need to pop the Supernova there, but just that couple of extra points and all the damage coming out from the Fire Spirits is too much for T1 to handle at this point, even with the mech from the Nature's Prophet, which is why I like that Forev's changed things up. He's like, right, these team fights aren't working. I need to go for some solo pickoffs.
And the Orchid will be the pickup. There's that Battle Fury for Gabby now being completed up, so his farm escalates along with the Ursa. Gotta say, In Your Dreams having a great old time this game still, though. Even with that one death, he does have 8.3k worth of net worth and is about 500 gold ahead of the PA. Should have that Bloodstone up extremely soon. In fact, Tim's threatening to Rolling Thunder. This may cost him his life. He does get it off eventually after the Blinding Light. They're going to go for the fight. KP is going to be there. Doesn't really have Lasso, though. They'll try to settle onto Joe Cam. Now the egg will be popped to just zone him out. And that'll be it.
That's fine, though. They can just re-engage if they want to. Forev TP's down to the bottom side. They've got all of their ultimates available, or at least will very shortly. And that mechanism, of course, allows you to fight so much easier. It creates a ton of space for this Ursa as well, who's taken towards the Roche pit. Doesn't care that he's only got a Battle Fury for farming. It's Roshan that he's caring about.
Roshan is important. It's going to be a big deal for T1. Of course, Miracle going to be going straight after that Basher next. Understanding he does want the Abyssal to try and control Gabby. Gabby right now just rushing for a Deso, it seems. Perhaps even the BKB. Only time will tell. It's not really going to be a way to juke out that Abyssal Blade, though, from Miracle. Once he does have it up, it's still going to be a while.
How aggressive is Armel wanting to be here? He's on his own, and he's standing behind this tower, maybe just trying to push that a little bit, but decides against it.
Yeah, Forev is there.
Completely under the vision as well of this Observer Ward.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
My flight.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Just clearing up that creep wave again, but you see T1, they've smoked up as a team. They're moving down towards that mid lane. Trying to invade their own Radiant jungle and try and take a team fight here up against TNC. They should see the Courier of Gabby on the way out, which will indicate exactly where he is, but Gabby is going to make a TP out. And he seems to be aware. He's moving his Courier the right way around.
Nicely done by March, though. He realizes the threat that's there and takes the top tower, the top outpost. So, again, experience going the way of TNC. They're holding out, doing everything that they need to. And, well, he's a little bit closer to that level 12, which makes it a lot bigger threat in these team fights.
T1 still trying to be the aggressors here. You've got this powerhouse and this Storm Spirit that you really want to make use of. Because the times he's not fighting is the time where Gabby is able to actually overtake in net worth.
I think they're fine with waiting very shortly, because now they're only 200 gold away from this Skull Basher for Miracle. He's got his level 15, so that's an extra 12 agility. They're rotating through, they're taking farm on the enemy team's side of the map, which is perfectly fine. And they've also got this Orchid basically completed right now on Forever.
Tims, bot lane, gonna narrowly avoid a gank. KP's gonna be around the corner. Go after that bottom T1 tower now, and well, TNC aren't really so set up to do the same. You'll see Gabby now trying to force it out, but I don't believe he'll even commit.
Yeah, I'm liking this positioning by Forev. He knows he's got his TP always available. He
Oh,
knows
in
he's
your
got
dream?
some survivability.
Lasso, Rolling Thunder going to be there. They didn't time it that well, but they take him out. Will-O-Wisp does
That's
not
a
help
yikes.
enough. That is a yikes indeed. And now Miracle, he just got his basher. And even with the Aegis, he's just going to leave.
Well, taking good advantage of that clumsy net, that's for sure.
That it does. In your dream, going to have to be very, very careful about that in future. He doesn't really have anything like a BKB. Still trying to farm up what looks to be an Orchid for himself now. So he's not really going defensive either on this Storm. TNC.
Very cool. Could we get a lucky bash here?
No. Just one hit, no bash. Gabby, however, is an even more important kill. Doesn't have a TP. They've left him alone. He'll try and blur. There is March around the corner, but he may have to just egg for this. And even then, I don't think it's going to be enough. Gabby trying to kite them out. Miracle still moving forward with that Aegis. Now the Sprout from Forever. Egg to be dropped to take away the attention from Gabby. That gets blown up. And now in your dream, going to zip in straight on this PA. And Gabby is just going to die as well.
Yeah, the theory of everything and the timing for everything is completely right on T1. Just not working out in that previous team fight where In Your Dream got picked up at the start, but that's exactly what should be happening right now for how this game state is.
That's a really rough little engagement there for TNC. There's Tims. They do find Forever up at the top lane. Deso going to be completed up now on the PA as well.
Radiant structure.
In Your Dream does get scouted out by KP, but doesn't make the jump yet. He does have Lasso. Now In Your Dream zipping in. No Dream Call either.
Yeah, and they don't lose that top tier 1 tower. That's why I was like, well, if they end up losing this for the tier 1 bot, it's not really a favorable trade for T1 because you always want to have the stronger positioning around this Roshan pit. That's why I'm like, well, why aren't they making any sort of aggressive moves, or sorry, defensive moves to defend it right now? They're going in though.
Yeah, March getting caught out. Does have the Icarus Knife, but he's been bashed. KP did jump on top of the cliff with the Firefly. Lasso's up that Clockwork. They just want to go for the easier kill, but Miracle is quite low now. Gabby does get the Aegis as well as Jocam. Paulson under fire does go down. Now it's just Miracle. You have In Your Dream making his way in, but he's a while away, and here comes Forever as well. But we have a pause.
Well, a DC'd puck with Dream Coil up in 2 seconds. So we'll see how that one goes. Yeah, I just don't understand the reasoning for wanting to take that aggressive of a team fight, right? I suppose you've got the Aegis that, thankfully for him, just was reclaimed before, sorry, was taken before he expired in about 5 seconds from now. But it's a bit of an odd position to be in. 3v5. But it's the 3 cores on T1. Let's see what they're able to do with it.
We'll see. We can win this out. Miracle, he's already turned around to go after KP. They're going to still try, but a blink away. Now phase shift on In Your Dream. Zip in, and they silence him up with the Dream Coil as well. Oh, poor In Your Dream. Just zipped right in, and now Forever, he wants out, but he's been used up through the TP, and I don't think he has a way out. Flame break back, and the crit comes in from Gabby. That's unfortunate for T1. That's a big team fight to lose.
Yeah, it is, and a little bit of poor luck that not quite realizing that the Dream Coil was so available, and some lucky damage coming out onto In Your Dream. But yeah, that's a couple of times where that great laning stage of his just hasn't really meant anything because of being picked off a couple of extra times.
With that engagement as well, they'll try to capitalize onto that tier 1 tower, but no, they're actually going to back off, back onto Miracle. They spot him out, sticky napalm. Hookshot actually misses there from Paulson, but it may be enough to scare off TNC. And that it does. They do back off again.
They've got this Vanguard, which is a little handy, I suppose, against the PA. Not going to block that much damage on Ursa, but it's the real build into the Abyssal Blade that they're concerned about. Allows you to get on top of that puck, that Phoenix, that Pangolier, and pop them before they're able to get their game-breaking ultimates off.
They were drawing a line out towards KP on the Batrider, but he's just going to back off in time. So now T1 just going to take over this dire side jungle. Jocam again going to take the outpost back for his team. And perhaps it's time for them to set up for this tier 2 top tower. There's also pressure being applied here from Tim's down at the bot, tier 2. And that is exactly what they're doing. They're just going to secure it, get enough gold for the Abyssal, and, well, they get the glyph out, so no tower yet. TNC, meanwhile, back in the mid lane, will try to go after that tier 1. And, well, the creeps will do it.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Fading out a little bit on the right-hand side. No vision right now for T1, so having to play a little bit defensively. And the fact that they're able to push out 2 lanes at the one time is bad news for T1 right now. They're still going to be able to get this tier 1 tower on the top side, you would think. 4.5 minutes left on the glyph. Wonder if
That
they'll
they
opt to
will.
pop it. Yes, they will.
Structures are fortified.
So, no glyph for either side. Roshan might be up in 30 seconds. Is it making a play around that? Hoping for a little bit of luck, crossing the fingers, or just trying to get a bit more objective control right now for TNC?
Yeah, we'll find out soon. Gabby, he'll start moving on to that bot tier 2. Abyssal Blade is going to be out for the Ursa, but a BKB now available on Gabby. Not that it's going to really help up against that Abyssal, but I guess up against everything else, they will smoke up.
Twice. Oh, they're going to find Jokam. This is bad for any sort of Roche fight that might be breaking out shortly.
Oh, they don't really go for
And
it,
it's
though.
super quick, 12 seconds on Roche.
Wow, okay. It literally is a 12-second timer. Alright, well, Jokam looks to be okay. They're actually just going to either not spot him out or ignore him. They go mid instead, hoping that somebody shows up to farm. They are not, however. So now Armel basically shows them he's smoked. Roshan is officially up, but nobody knows about it yet.
Well, you've got one of the best scouters in the game with Paulson here.
That you
You
do.
should know.
We used the last rocket flare to push out the top wave.
Might do the same. I guess he doesn't actually want to reveal the fact that he's here, though.
Now he definitely won't. He's just going to stick around. So neither team really realizing it's up. There's the rocket flare now. He does have vision. So TNC are the only ones that don't really know yet. But I'm sure they could assume it's there.
Yeah, Armel. He scouted it out.
Nice.
So, here we go.
Oh,
Next big team
Spiderlets.
fight about to happen.
Miracle got
Very
that
handy.
that mobility you talked about as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's a bit short on the buyback, and you're always going to know if TNC are contesting around this Roche pit because of that rocket flare. The question on my mind is, do you at least buy the Ogre Axe for that little bit of extra sustain for this upcoming team fight? Because regardless of whether or not you die, you're still not going to have buyback.
That's very true. He may just decide to try and farm the buyback gold in time. I mean, I guess that's kind of an option, but well, TNC, they haven't started the Roche yet. They do get the Roche's aggro, but that's it. Now they'll just show in mid.
They ping him out massively. Oh,
Lasso.
they found it in your dream.
Oh, that's a big kill if they can get it, and they do. Oh, the
Well.
crits from Gabby are just way too high.
Free Roche.
No buybacks. Yeah, it's a free Roshan. That's a rough one. It's like In Your Dream was trying to... I believe he was trying to go for a Lotus Orb, but decided BKB instead. Sorry, not Lotus Orb, but Lincoln Sphere. And now he's working towards an Aghanim Scepter on that Storm, but... I don't know, if you're going to get caught out by the lasso like that, you might need something a bit more defensive.
Are they trying to make something happen here onto Miracle instantly after they cap it?
That's Paulson getting caught out. Miracle also getting caught out here by Armel. Paulson will end up dying up at that top lane. Miracle doesn't really want to be here any longer. He'll turn around on the bat, but here's Gabby. The Abyssal was used. The Miracle will go down. Now, poor old Jokam understands how this one goes. Will also die on the Keeper of the Light.
He was in two minds about whether to help, and even if he wasn't, he was about 100 mana short of that level 2 Will-O-Wisp, so couldn't help him turn around. I don't mind going this Ag Scepter build on In Your Dream, just because, you know, you're going to want to try and set up for the Ursa to do the bulk of the damage that's going to be coming through. But it's just not happening every single one of these team fights, you know? It's just going more and more in the favor of TNC, especially now that you've picked up this second Aegis. You've got the cheese available as well on the puck.
Now they're going high
what can you
ground.
do?
They have the damage for it with Gabby. He's you bash her up as well. You got to be careful about that if you're in your dream. And that'll be a tier 3. They'll try for the racks while they've got that 20 seconds of the Ursa respawn. In your dream. Can try to delay things out, but ultimately TNC don't seem to care.
He's sitting in a pit of mangoes right now, so you could go for a really deep dive and just constantly be popping mangoes throughout it.
True. He won't though. That mid-Rax does go down, so TNC just a free Roshan, a free Rax. Nothing to it.
You hate to see it after a, I would say, moderately successful group stage for T1. For all to come unraveled just in a single best of 3 is not great. And, you know, you want to see new orgs be successful in the scene. Of course, taking nothing away from TNC, they've executed these team fights fantastically and have really understood how to take these pickoffs. Some great vision, enabling a lot for them.
It's not quite over yet though. Just one Rax. T1, they're of course going to fight back and try to get a Rax of their own now.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Trying to finish up this BKB for Miracle as well.
Is under
It's
attack.
important.
It's key.
But you've got that Abyssal Blade now on Gabby.
Radiant's top tower is under
So, it's kind of already got the counter towards that, I suppose you'd call it. And Gabby now just going to take the tier 2 top tower. Nobody's there to defend. It's going to be a very free tower for Gabby.
You've got KP sitting here on the side, so might be looking for a pickoff. You can see that at least one TP is coming through, but might be a bit of a bait
Miracle.
happening here.
Oh, Miracle. Yules is going to be there to cancel the TP. He's going to try and run. Abyssal onto KP. Now the zip in. It was maybe a bait. Forever's there as well. KP's dead. Gabby almost kills off both In Your Dream and the Ursa. He'll go after Forever instead. And now the egg to be popped to make sure nobody can come after Gabby afterwards. Forever will threaten the egg and will take the death himself.
Oh, they found In Your Dream anyway.
Have
He's
they?
able to get away.
He'll BKB. Rolling Thunder from Tim's. Gonna try and chase him down, but he's gone.
scanning.
Maybe, you can't really catch Miracle either. But I guess killing off Forever is still pretty decent.
It is. The fact that it was 4 KP, not the greatest, but again, a lot of that gold and experience going the way of T1, which they really need. They just need to close the gap right now. Even if they're not in the lead, they need to get this level 20 up for In Your Dream, and you need to get him the remaining 1.5k gold that he needs to complete his Ag Scepter.
Well, Paulson's been caught as well. Dream call out from Armel. Just really wants to make sure he doesn't try to do anything cheeky, and well, he can't. He did have the hook shot, but he just couldn't quite find an angle out. TNC now, or rather just Gabby alone, is
Going for a pickoff.
why not? No, he'll clear out the creep wave.
Ooh.
He's confident.
He's got Aegis still for the next 45 seconds, so he can make these confident plays. He's chasing.
I don't believe he actually saw Jocam though, did he? They'll TP in now for Rev. He has jumped on Jocam, but an Abyssal out now from the Ursa. Gabby, how do you fight back? The Dream Coil's there. The Abyssal onto Miracle. He does kill him off and now just crits. They will find the second in Forever, now the third in the Coddle. This PA is out of control.
Maybe now it's in a bit of a rough position for T1, you know. Just getting caught out 3 for 1, using the Aegis to its full capacity at level 25 picked up as well, so that triple stifling dagger can even one-shot some of these supports.
Are fortified.
It's a rough game. I mean, they'll have maybe one final defense here for T1 to try and turn this game around.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Aegis does expire, which definitely helps for T1. In Your Dream, he'll just try and force them back, but he's not at that level 25 mark yet. He's only level 20.
Has fallen.
Kind of hard for him to clear out those creep waves too easily. And on TNC, there were some pinks coming out for those tier 4s, but I think that's a bit too preemptive from TNC. They'll go for the Megas.
You can tell Gabby's got his finger on the trigger trying to get that Abyssal Blade pick off onto In Your Dream.
Oh, he certainly does. Joe Cam going to go in for a blinding light. That dagger on the illusion almost taking out Joe Cam, and now Vortex in from In Your Dream. Hookshot as well. Paulson trying to save that last Rax, but now Gabby goes back on with the Abyssal. In Your Dream, the Sprout will help. Egg also being committed now, and TNC look to just leave that final range Rax alone. Unwilling to risk this game.
They're chasing him up, trying to get any sort of pickoffs, but they're just able to retreat on their own.
Yeah, Tims will just roll away and the rest are out of there. TNC, that is such a huge win for them now. A 15k net worth lead. One range Rax left to get Megas. You could just wrap that if you really wanted to. Oh, he's got a Satanic now as well, Gabby.
Yeah, just if you needed him to be any stronger.
He's just way too far ahead now. Like, he's literally almost 10k ahead of Miracle, just based off these last few team fights. Miracle hasn't been able to farm up at all. He's still trying to get that MKB up. At this point, you kind of just think you may as well switch to a Divine. It's a rough one.
Thankfully enough for In Your Dream, he didn't have to use his buyback there, so he's getting closer to that Ag Scepter, the thing that could enable this next team fight, but it's not going to work if Jokam gets picked off here.
Oh, Miracle, he's even worse to get picked off. He goes for the Abyssal, though, with the wards. Sunray there, but Gabby jumps in. Miracle's dead. He doesn't have buyback, and now Paulison's also going down, and this could be it. Ags is up on In Your Dream, but they've called it. They've had enough.
It's all well and good to have that Ag Scepter, but you need it to enable your Ursa, and yeah, just unfortunately getting picked off that time around, and it's TNC moving forward.
That it is. A nice quick 2-0 victory for this TNC side. I've got to say, Danog T1, they put up a real great fight throughout the BTS Pro Series Season 2. Unfortunately for them, that is it. They are knocked out. First team to be knocked out here today, and, well, there will be a second one coming up, unfortunately. Team Adroit vs RR is coming up next. One of those teams is also going to have to leave us for today. The other will move on to the lower bracket round 2. And we'll find out who in about 15 minutes. It is MLP Dota. It is Danog. We'll be back in that 15 minutes time to see how the game number 1 draft between Adroit and Reality Rift does turn out. We'll see you then.